Hello and welcome to another video from me, Rough Swordsman, Wargamer. It's part 2 of my playthrough of Combat, designed by Ross Mortell and published by Compass Games. We're on the second turn of our introductory scenario 1, a meeting of patrols, and in the last video all that was happening really was our guys were manoeuvring up, hopefully to get into this building and deal with these Germans that are coming down, while Charlie team were moving up to the hedges and then hopefully to see what's going on, spot and then fire on these. The Germans managed to spot a couple of our guys here, but we managed to do the same for those two. So that's the situation. We're ready for turn 2, but just before we do that, I did mention in the last video that for some reason I was moving units twice. Well, I've reviewed the video and this now is the correct position, I believe. So we're ready to start. What we'll do first though, just in case people think I'm not above board, we will give these a quick shuffle again. There we are, and the same with the German deck. Now we're ready to go. So now we'll be using the sequence of play. First thing we do, then we have to play one of our cards, which will determine our initiative. If you remember from last time, we've got those two. This is a discard, so when we use that, or if we use it for our initiative, this doesn't happen. This has to be done when it's our activation. This one, though, will happen as it's an order, but as I mentioned last time, there is no A team. What I'm looking at here is the initiative because we've got to place our orders first, and I'm hoping to get some pot shots at these two possibly, while these still have to move up to be able to see this group of Germans. So this one gives us slightly better initiative. I think we'll play that one, pop that there, and we'll just move those out for a moment from last turn. We now have to assign our orders. So the only two orders that will allow us to fire are these. This one we're going to move and then fire, but as we're doing that we will get a -2 to our weapon skill. This one though, we can only fire every other impulse. So we could throw a grenade, but I'm not going to do that. To throw a grenade, I think they have to be within 4 hexes. So we could, I think, chuck a grenade there, but no. Now again, you may not agree with my tactics, but as I said earlier, my videos are just me playing the game, having fun, and you seeing whether or not, if you haven't got it, it might be for you. So what I might do is do an aimed fire, that one, and a run and gun, so he can move up to here, and then he'll have a choice. The thing with the run and gun is, if you haven't got a target to fire at, you must move. So I think we'll give Private Goldstein with the BAR run and gun. See if we can try and get nearer that building. I think we want to do run and guns because they've got to move up at least to here to see what's going on. So let's try that. Okay, that's our boys committed with their orders. It is now the Germans' turn to see what orders they're getting. And the way I do the orders, you could sort of just start at the top, move left to right, regardless of the colour. But I get a bit confused, so I'm going to start with the red team. So the first one is going to be this, and we draw a card. And not only will it give us the order, it'll also tell the initiative of the red team, 77. So that's good. Now, this one is in the open. So we look here, normal status. So they're going to sneak 5, 6. But this C here means that if they are within 4 hexes of an enemy, they can charge at them. But only if they are spotted. They don't need a line of sight, I think. But nobody is in line of sight. So it will go to, what do we say, sneak 5, 6. So let's get that. There we are. That's for him. Next one would be this one. These are now just put on the discard pile afterwards. This one is, oh, he's in cover. Normal. Aimed fire. Grenade. No, he's more than 4 hexes away. So he's doing an aimed fire. There we are. Aimed fire. Next is this one. He's in cover. He's got a run and gun 4. He's going to be running out this way. Run and gun 4. Be this one next. He's in the open. Suppressive fire. Right. Now we don't know what sort of weapon he's got. He's probably got the KAR. But for now, we'll just put on a normal suppressive fire rather than a slow suppressive fire. We'll change that as and when he gets spotted. We'll explain what these do as we do them. Basically, suppressive fire, not that he can see anybody at the moment, that if you hit an enemy, they duck down and they have to do a morale check. There's no wounds involved. This one, he's in the open. Sneak 5, 6. So not a lot of firing going on. Sneak 5, 6. There. Last one, he's in the open as well. Evade 5, grenade and charge. Nobody is within 4 hexes that is spotted. So evade 5 for him. Now the problem with this, even though they're not firing, they could stumble into us and cause a melee. Right, that's the red team done. Now we'll do the blue team, and the first card is going to give us the initiative for blue. 75, they're high ones. The first one we do is this. He's in the open. Run and gun 5, 4. There's a charge, but there is nobody within 4 hexes that is spotted. Run and gun 5, 4 then. That might be dodgy. Run and gun 5, 4. This one. He's in the open. Rapid fire. So here's the rapid fire, and once again, this is only applicable to certain weapons. If we find that enemy has a KAR, as we can see, it is slow. We will change that to aimed fire, because this rapid fire they can't do with a bolt action. Give it that for now. This Soldat Wolf, he's in the open on that road. Evade 6-5. Grenade and charge. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, just out of range. So he's going to get his evade 6-5. So no firing for him. This one, he's in the open. Suppressive fire. Once again, we're not sure what weapon he's got, but for now we'll give him a suppressive fire. There we are. I'll show these to you at the beginning just so you can see what sort of orders they are, but as time goes on you'll get to know what they are. And lastly, Soldat Pole. He's in cover in the hedge. Run and gun. Ooh, don't like the sound of that. 4-5. There it is. That's everybody. Next on the sequence of play, we have to do the initiative track. So, what have we got? 56 for Baker, 40 for Charlie. Oh, I didn't put down the... Just realised it was the 72 one, wasn't it? No, 75 I think it was. If it's not, I'll change it. Here we go. So they're obviously going to be last. We've got Charlie first, and then Baker. And it will be blue team and then red team. There we are. We're ready to start Impulse 1. And that will be Charlie team. Charlie team it is. But before we do that, of course, a couple of things. I put the wrong order on the red German unit there. Should be a run and gun 4. I didn't look, probably one of the sneaks had sneaked into the counter tray in the wrong part. So that's sorted out. I put an American suppressive fire on that German unit, so I just changed that over. And talking about that, I said run and gun and aim fire were the only two sort of fire orders, but of course we've got suppressive fire. Here's a fire order. And this rapid fire is as well, of course. So apologies for that. Here we go then. And we don't have to do them in order like we do the Germans. We can mix and match within the teams. But I think we're just going to move up. Run and gun. First impulse, you can see there's a black one there. That means you're just going to move. So they're going to move up. Now, can you see this one? Yep. So he's going to try and spot this German here. He's 2 away. And on the spotting chart here, 2 away means he's going to get a +1 to his sort of troop quality, if you like. German's got a sneak in the open. That does mean it's a -1, so that cancels that out. So he's doing a troop quality check just on his printed troop quality there of 7. So he needs to throw a 7 or less. Get that in shot. 7 or less, here we go. 6. He's been spotted. Let's see what it is. Oh, it's a dummy. Another dummy. So we don't have to worry about that one. Thank you very much. So he's finished. So that's Corporal Thomas. Oh, hold on though. He can have a go at these, can't he? You can try and spot these. Keep forgetting you can do multiple spot checks. So this one, I think, let's just move these out of the way. Get the little dots. Yep, you can see that one. It's not clipping here. That's what I was checking for, I don't think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. Run and gun in the open, as that German. 5 doesn't give us any range modifier, but a run and a gun in the open gives him a +2 to his troop quality, so he's got a 9 as Corporal Thomas. So that's going to be automatic spot, but we'll do it anyway. Yeah, or 1. Okay. So what's this one? Ah, Soldat Abbas. See that? We'll go back there. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Corporal's doing very well. 6 with a sneak in the open. So 6 doesn't give us any range modifier. Sneak in the open, they will give us a -1. 6 or less for this check. 9, no luck. This one, 1, 2, I think you can see him, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again. That's an aimed fire in the hedge. No range modifier. Oh, another -1. Aimed fire in the hedge, -1, so another 6 or less. 7, no. Spoke too soon. Okay. So he has finished now, I believe. So next up is Private Lozano. He's moving into the hedge. Can you see this one? Let's have a look. Because these trees can block as well, I think. Oh, I think it's just clipping that tree. You may disagree, but we'll say no. But he can certainly have a go at these two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got a troop quality of only 4. Sneak in the open. 6 doesn't give us any range modifier, but a sneak in the open gives us another -1. I suspect they're sort of crouched down close to the ground, a little bit harder to see. So he needs a 3 or less. No, doesn't get it, but he's going to try for this one as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again. Aimed fire in a hedge. No range modifier is again -1, wasn't it? -1. 3 or less. Come on, Lozano. No! Because we want to be firing at those next impulse. And then we've got Private Douglas who's moving up, and he's going to have a go. I think you can see this one now. Let's double check. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Run and gun in the hedge. 5 is no range modifier. Run and gun in the hedge. Run and gun, hedge. Nothing there, so as is. He's got a troop quality of 4. 6, goodness me. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nothing on the range. Sneak in the open is a -1. So he needs a 3 or less. Yes, 0. Got him. Another dummy. Excellent. Whittling them down. And then this one. There's any trees in the way. Or this tree, the tree in his hex might block. So let's have a look. I think this tree's blocking this hex here, so we can't see him. So that's it for Charlie. Now, Baker. So, Baker team, we've got Private Woodruff. He can see this. Can he see that one as well? That might be in the way. Let's check. Something I always forget to do is, even though he can't do anything, he can spot. Clipping that. Oh, that's tight. I'm going to say no, just to be on the safe side. But what about this one? This is straight up the road there. He can see this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's still in the 0 range there. But he's got a rapid fire in the open, which is a 0 rapid fire. So he's not very good, our Private Woodruff. He's only got a 3. So a 3 or less. See if we can spot him. 4. Good grief. Okay. That is him done. Private Miller. Got a run and gun, so he's going to move. If he moves here, we'll be able to see either of those. Let's do a check before we commit. I'm thinking about these rocks blocking. Let's just move him back. Oh, it's close again. I think it just misses there. So we're going to move him into there. He's going to try and spot both of those. Let's try this one first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Aimed fire in the hedge. No range modifier. It's a -1 for the aimed fire in the hedge. He's got a 4, so let's see if we can do any better. That's a 3 or less. Yes! Also proper 1. Oh, it's a sniper, but I don't think they... just means they've got a higher troop quality in this one. But it's Soldat Moller. He's going to have to be got rid of. And this one... 10. I was there, wasn't he? Try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Rapid fire in the open. is a 0 and a 0 for the range, so it's as is. He needs a 4 or less this time. 0, lovely. Oh, Soldat Han. Rapid fire, didn't he? Yeah. But now we can see what he's got. He's got a KAR, so he can't use the rapid fire, so that gets changed to an aimed fire. I think that's how it works. And nobody else can be seen behind the rocks. That's him done. It's just Private Goldstein here with his run and gun. I know it's a bit gamey, but we can see that he's going to move out here. So we're going to move him here. Can't see anybody because of that hedge. That's Charlie team done. Whoops, let's pop that back on there for him. We're now on to the Germans and the blue team. So the blue Germans, we've got this one first. He's running and gunning 5-4, so he's coming down. But can he spot any of these? Let's have a look. I don't think he'd be able to spot him because it's a tree in the hedge. So he could be hiding behind the tree. Don't know what you think. Let's say yes. So Soldat Abbas is 1, 2, 3, 4 away. That's a +1. He's got a run and gun in the hedge. That's a 0. So it's got a troop quality of 5, so 6 or less with the +1. 4, he does indeed spot our corporal. He can now be fired on. He can try and spot this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Run and gun again in the hedge. 4 is a +1 for the range. Run and gun in the hedge is a 0 again, so it's 6 or less. 0. He's doing well as well. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 or less. Yeah, they're all spotted. All he can do. Thank goodness. Next up, we've got an aimed fire here. He can't do anything, and he can't spot anybody. Soldat Hun can't do anything. These are already spotted. He's just sort of, again, getting a bead on anybody for next impulse. This one is an evade 6-5, so 6 is coming out here. Nobody else to see. They're all spotted. I think you can see them anyway, apart from Corporal. Seen those, he's behind the hedge. Suppressive fire, nothing going on there. He doesn't move. He can't see anybody. So he's easy enough to deal with. And lastly, Soldat Pol is running and gunning, running this way. He can try and spot Goldstein. 1, 2, 3 away. That's a +1. And has a run and gun in the open. What's another +2? Looks like he's going to be spotted. +3 altogether. He has a troop quality of 4, so that's 7 or less. No, he gets an 8. Doesn't spot him. Incredible. obviously run out into the field. Just missed, who's quite hunkering maybe by the hedge, missed him. That's the blue team done. Now it's the red team. First one is this, aimed fire. But again, he's doing nothing. He can't see anybody. These have been spotted. These have been spotted. Everybody except Goldstein here. So he's finished. This one, run and gun. He's coming out into the open. Nobody to spot. Suppressive fire. Again, these rocks and everything is stopping line of sight. And lastly, evade 5 into the rocks. And that is everybody. So we'll remove all the cubes. There we go. We move along to impulse 2 and we start again with Charlie. So before we start, I'm just going to move this down a bit more. We can see what's going on. We've got Charlie. Second impulse they can gun. So Corporal Thomas, first of all, is going to try and spot this one because he might be a problem. 1, 2, 3 away. And German has a run and gun in the open. So we've got +1 for that. Run and gun in the open gives us another +2. So 3 added on to that means he's going to automatically spot that one, which is good. So no need to throw. Let's have a look what it is. Otto, Soldat Otto. Now we can fire. So still 3 away, but this time we're using the weapon characteristic chart here. He's got the grease gun. 3 away will give him a +1 to his weapon skill, but he has to throw 3 dice because it's got a rate of fire of 3. Unlike this one, where you can choose your rate of fire, I think you have to throw the 3 dice, but he gets a +1 to his weapon skill. Run and gun in the open though. We use a different chart. We're using this now, the all dirt terrain chart. Run and gun, that gives us a -1. So that cancels out that +1 for the distance. Got a weapon skill of 5, but this run and gun will take 2 off. So for this shot, he's actually got a weapon skill of 3, so 3 or less. First of 3 shots. If he rolls a 9, that's going to affect his ammo, so fingers crossed. 3 or less. 5, no good. Second shot, 3 or less. 6, no, come on, Corporal. 0. And what happens when you throw a 0 is their morale level goes up. So he's gone up from normal, which is what everybody starts at, to bold. And that will give him a +1 to his troop quality. And the first thing that happens to the poor, unfortunate Soldat Otto is his run and gun order gets changed into a duck back. But he's been hit and he's hugging the ground, and he won't be able to do anything for the rest of the turn because when he does get activated, it will turn into a hide result, which means he can do nothing. Now we take one of these cards and see if he got wounded or not. Bad wound. Poor old Soldat Otto gets this bad wound. Any leadership would go down by 3, -3 on troop quality, and -3 on his weapon skill. Pop that there for a minute, because now he has to do a wound morale check, taking into account this -3. So he's actually got a troop quality of 2. So he has to throw a 2 or less to pass. 3. And that's bad news for Soldat Otto, because with a wound morale check, if you fail, it goes down another 2 levels. And he's going down from normal down to shaken. There we are, another 2 off the troop quality and another 2 off his weapon skill. He's not doing too good. If he gets another wound that causes his troop quality to get to 0, he will become incapacitated. But if he gets a wound that knocks him past his 5 troop quality, he will be killed in action, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on your outlook. So for now, he's in a bad way. And Corporal Thomas has finished. We've now got Lozano, and he might as well have a go at this one. Or shall we try and finish off that one? Yeah, let's see if we can try and finish him off. Poor old thing. So he's only got a weapon skill of 4, which is going to come down to 2 because of this run and gun. 1, 2, 3 away. He's got an M1. That will give him a +1 though. And a duck back in the open won't change that at all. So he now has a weapon skill of 3. 3 or less. Only 1 shot with the M1. 2. He's hit him again. He's already got the duck back. Let's see what wound he gets now. Light wound. So let's just remind ourselves what his situation is. He's got a light wound. That doesn't apply, but he's got another 1 off of his troop quality and 1 off of his weapon skill. He's at 4, so not down to 0. We don't take these into account for being incapacitated or killed in action. I believe it's only the wound troop morale that is used. So he has to do another wounds morale check. Looks like he might be routing. So he's actually down to -1. So to pass, he's first got to throw a 0. No, he's failed, because there's something called the rule of 0, and we'll show you that as it happens. He's coming down another 2, but he can't, because from shaken, the only way down is rout. And that doesn't affect his morale, because it's as low as it can get, but no leadership value and no firing. So we'll remove that one. That, I think, has actually improved his troop quality, I think. Now, I don't think they're cumulative, because it says each character can be in 1 of 7 morale states. So you can't have 2. So he is routing. Let's just pop all that back on and see what that entails. An enemy character with this morale state of rout, if he has a line of sight to a spotted friendly character, he will move in the direction specified under the route line on the enemy order card for the character's team. using the fastest possible route. So for instance, looking at this one here, we would be using that one. He'll be moving in that direction, which would be good for him. And it says using the fastest possible order from sprint down to sneak. So he's going to move over this way by the looks of it. Using this direction. So when he gets activated, he'll get one of those orders to move to those friendly units, but because he's got that bad wound, he can't have a sprint or evade, so it's going to be a sneak. He's in a bad way. He's crawling on the floor, so he will try and sneak back to friendly units. I assume he's trying to crawl back to his own lines, which are up that way. I think if he gets in cover, there might be a chance he can get a rally. But for now, that's his fate. And that's Lozano's go. We have now got Douglas. Do you think we should let's try and put him out of his misery? We should really be going after these, I suppose. He's got a weapon skill of 5. Yes, that's another run and gun. He's going to be firing. So let's try and see if we can put a stop to Soldat Abbas there. He's got his weapon skill of 5, but it's coming down by 2, so 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 away with his M1 is unfortunately a 0. So he's still at 3. Now Chapper's got a run and gun in the open. Oh dear, that's another -1. So he's down to 2. These run and guns aren't great. One shot. Oh, would you believe it? Another 0. He goes up to bold as before. He will get a duck back. There we are. Put it there for a minute. Let's see what damage he gets. Close call. Oh dear. That is just a morale check. He's got a troop quality of 5. Doesn't have anything to add or take away. If he fails, his morale will go down. So let's see, 5 or less. 6. No, he doesn't make it. He will go down to cautious. Here's cautious, -1 on his troop quality and -1 on his weapon skill. So he's not too bad. That's it. We're now over to Baker team. Before we get on to Baker, as I mentioned earlier in the video, Soldat Abbas should not have got a duck back because he had a close call. And a close call only needs a morale check, no wound marker because it's not a wound. Unfortunately, or fortunately, he failed. So he has gone down to cautious, which will give him a -1 to his troop quality and a -1 to his weapon skill, but he does keep his run and gun. We can now move on to Baker. We've got Woodruff, who is going to try and spot this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across the rocks, but as I mentioned, I think earlier or in another video, those only block line of sight, whereas the target has a certain type of order where they're lower to the ground and the logs can hide them. And those orders are sneak, hide, rally, or reload. But he hasn't got one of those. So 6 away doesn't give Woodruff any modifier. He's got evading the rocks. So it's -2, quite hard to see him. Oh dear, he's only got a troop quality of 3. So he needs 1 or a 0. 8, no luck. Mind you, he will have a go now at firing. I don't think you can see him, but he's going to have a go at this one right up along the road here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 doesn't give him any advantage. He is aimed fire in the open though, and that gives him a 0, so no change to his weapon skill, which is 4. So he needs a 4 or less. 1! Woodruff hits him. Now, before we put a duck back on him, let's see if he gets a wound. He gets a light wound, so he will indeed get a duck back. That stopped him for a bit. I put the wobblies up him. Here's the light wound again. 1 off of everything. Leadership, troop quality and weapon skill. He now has to do a wound morale check. And so even if he passes, he will have his morale reduced by 1. Let's see what he gets. We take into account the wound he's just received. So he gets a -1 to his troop quality, so it's a 3 or less. 6, no, he fouls. So he's normal at the moment, down by 2, shaken. Another 2 off of his troop quality and 2 off his weapon skill. So that wasn't too bad at all from Woodruff. He's got just the 1 wound troop quality reduction. Remember, morale troop quality reduction doesn't affect the life or death of a unit. Nicely done, Woodruff. We now move to Baker, who has a run and gun. Second impulse is the gun. He's going to try, first of all, though, to spot this one in the rocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No modifier. Evade in the rocks. That's the -2, isn't it? Yes, -2. Troop quality of 4, so 2 or less. Oh, nearly on the 2. 8. No luck. Now, does he need to go after that, or shall we try and attack that? He's stopped in his tracks till the start of the next turn. I think, though, the modifiers are the same for those. No, let's try this one. Let's just make sure we can see it first. I think we can. Yeah. So run and gun, though, he's got a -2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No modifier for his M1. He's evading the open, though. That's another -1. So he's down to a 1 or a 0, I think. 4 -2 is 2, minus another 1 for the order is 1. Yeah, 1 or less. Oh, I thought it was a 1. No, 7. No luck. And then we've got Goldstein here with the rumble in the, not jungle, but in the field. He's going to have a go, of course, at pole. Can't see anybody else because of this hedge. He, though, has -2 run and gun. As I said earlier, I don't think run and gun was the best for Goldstein carrying that heavy bar, because he's got another -2 coming off, so he's at 0. 3 away, though. But 3 away will at least give him a +1, so he's 1 or less. Now we have to decide, do we throw 1 or 2 dice? And I think we might as well try and throw 2 dice. Twice the chance of throwing a 9, though. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Right, 1 or less. 4, no good. Second shot. 4, no. That's it. That's Baker team. We're now back to the Blue Germans. Ooh, looks like we've had an accident here. So first up is the German we shot at, Hahn. But all that happens here is that duckback will turn into a hide, which means he can do nothing for the rest of the turn. He's finished with run and gun 5-4. He is gunning this time. So who's he going to fire at? They're all the same distance. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. They've all got the same order, all in the hedge, so no difference. Let's work that out. He's KAR. He's going to have, whoops. It was a 5-4, wasn't he? Yeah. So he's got a -1 on his weapon skill. At 4, though. Oh, that's good. That's a 0. Run and gun in the old hedge is a -1. So he's got 2 coming off that, +2 for the run and gun itself. So he's at 0, I think. 4 -2 minus another 1. That's 1, and 1 for the order. 0, yeah. Oh, 4. Used the wrong die, but never mind. So he's finished with. What else we got? We've got this one evading. Now in the second impulse, he's going to come straight down into that hedge in the 5 direction. And then slow suppression. He still can't see anybody. So he must be getting a little infuriated. And pole. He's going to have a go, of course, at Goldstein. He's got a -2 to his weapon skill for the run and gun. 1, 2, 3 away. That will give him a +1. Run and gun in the open, though, weirdly, is a -1, I assume, because they're running about, not standing still, a little bit more difficult to hit. So what did we say? We've got that -1 is cancelled out by the KAR range. So he's just got a -2 on his weapon skill, which is a 3. So he needs a 1 or a 0. 9. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. He's now got low ammo. He's got one of them, which pleases us greatly. But he's finished. And we're on to the red team. First up is Muller there, the German sniper. He can fire all of those, I think. Let's just check. That tree in the way. This is what I think we looked at this last time. It's clipping that tree, and I tend to play this for these hedges. If it clips the tree, it's an extra sort of terrain, blocking terrain. So we can't see him, but he can see these two. Because even though there's a tree there, he could be standing either side of it, for instance. So, where was he? He was here, wasn't he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need to decide which one he's going for. They'll both be the same. So we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be, it's going to be our Corporal Thomas. So, it's a KAR, isn't it? Let's just check. Yeah, it's a KAR. Yeah, looks the same. Just looks different here. So I think that's a KAR. 6 away is nothing. Corporal Thomas is in the hedge with a run and gun. That's a -1. He's got a weapon skill of what? 6? So that's a 5 or less. I don't like the sound of this one. Ho, 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 ho. Poor old Mauler. He's not only missed, but he gets a low ammo as well. Crikey, this is not too bad, this impulse for our boys. He's finished with. Let's just move this for a sec. He's got suppressive fire. He can't do anything, can't see anybody. Evade 5. He is coming down into the logs. And that, completely forgot this one. But he's only got a duck back, so he's doing nothing. I think he's just hiding there, and then next turn we'll move away. Yeah, the way I read it, that doesn't mean that's correct, but it looks like they're going to hide for the rest of the turn, and then we'll see if they're within line of sight of a friendly unit, which of course they are, and they will move in the direction of their initiative card when we draw that next turn. I think that's how it works. I dare say you'll tell me, dear viewer, if that's not quite right. There we are. I think that's everything. That is Impulse 2 done. We pop this onto number 3. We get rid of the blocks. There we go. And it's Impulse 3 with Charlie Team. So Charlie Team, we're going to move him up a bit nearer this. But also, I think I may have been neglecting to try and spot this one with Thomas last time. So he's going to try and spot this one in the logs. He can see him, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nothing for the range modifier. He's an evade in the logs. That's a -1. Thomas, of course, has a troop quality of 7, so he needs a 6 or less. 0. We've spotted this one at last. What is it? Soldat Krauis in the logs. Good, we've spotted him. And he's finished. Now we've got Zano. He's just moving up again. The modifier for being in the field or in the hedge is the same. And he's a little bit nearer those Germans. And then Douglas, same thing. Oh, for his remembered for his spotting here, he had a +1, but it was okay. Mustn't forget those hidden under there. He's got one as well. That's Charlie done. Baker. He's not moving with his aimed fire. He's staying there. Possibly trying to get a bead on him. Maybe he needs to try and get here. So I'll move him up. And then Goldstein. So we'll move him there, I think. And that is Baker. And the Americans' activations are over. It's now blue. So first up, we've got Soldat Hahn hiding, doing nothing else. Soldat Abbas is running in the third impulse in a 4 direction. He's coming out this way. Soldat Schultz has got a slow suppression in the third impulse. Nothing happens. This one, though, is moving that way, trying to make a run for it. And lastly, Soldat Pole over here is moving down in a 5 direction. And that's it. Last to go are the Reds. So up here we've got Moller with his aimed fire doing nothing. Soldat Otto hiding, again doing nothing. Poor old unit over there, still waiting to see somebody. I think lastly we've got this one who was there, wasn't he? He's moving down there. Everybody's had a go. So let's take off the blocks and we move to the last impulse of turn 2, impulse 4. So Charlie team are up. We've got Corporal Thomas there. I think he better try and have a shot at Soldat Abbas. Yes, he's cautious. So what we got? 1, 2, 3 with his grease gun. That's a +1. He's got to take 3 shots though. He's run and gun in the open, which is a -1. So that cancels out that range modifier. He's got weapon skill of 5, but he's got 2 off of that because of the run and gun. So he needs a 3 or less. First shot. 6. No, that's a miss. 0. Look at that. That means his morale goes up. Another one. I think we can turn that over to aggressive. That's the next one up. Let's see what damage is occurring to Abbas. Oh, it's only a close call. He has to do a morale check though. He's having 1 off of that because of the cautious, so he needs a 4 or less. Oh, he does it, look. He's fine. Last shot for Thomas. What do we say, 3 or less? Oh, he's only done it, look. 3. What's he got this time? It's a light wound. That means he will get a duck back. So he can take his run and gun off. And here's his light wound again. 1 off of everything. And he has to do a wound morale check now. And if you remember, even if he passes, he will lose another morale level. 2 if he fails. 3 if he throws a 9. He's got his first troop quality off of his life, if you like. But his troop quality for this check is 3 or less. 1 off the cautious, 1 off the light wound. 9. No, that's not a good thing. That's 3 levels down. Oh dear, oh dear. That's him routing. That's not good at all. I will take that off because you can only have 1 at a time, I think. So, next turn, he will be given a order to move back in this direction. Okay. That's Corporal Thomas done. Is now Zano. Well, these 2 are out for the moment. So let's have a try at this one. Muller, hiding in the hedge with his aimed fire. He'll be firing when he's activated. So let's try and see if we can have a pop at him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nothing on the M1 for that. Aimed fire in the hedge is a -1 though. Oh dear. And Lozano's only got a weapon skill of 4, which is coming down to 2 because of this. 2 or less. No, 8. No good at all. Lastly, for Charlie, we've got a bold Private Douglas who will try the same thing. I think you can see him. I think it's being clipped. Just check quickly. Yeah, he's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No modifier for range. -1 for aimed fire in the hedge. He's got a weapon skill of 5 though, so we need a 4 or less. No, 8 misses. That's Charlie team done with. Let's have a look at Baker. Before we get to Baker team, you may have noticed that this unit has mysteriously turned over. I suspect it was the cat has knocked it and I've put it back on the wrong side. Not a major issue, but what we could do is that during Charlie's turn or activation, we could have tried to spot it with Corporal Thomas. Who can see it. I suspect I've been forgetting to spot this one as it's stuck behind those rocks. But yeah, we can see it. So just for my peace of mind, we'll try and spot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here's a slow suppress in the open, 9 away. Going to be a 0 for this and a 0 for the suppression. He's actually got a troop quality of 9, so he's going to do it automatically. So yes, he would have been turned over. Apologies for that. But as I say, during Charlie's activation, we would have said, oh, we can see this one now. So we would have spotted him. And as it is, he can't see anybody. So I think no harm done. Right, over to Baker. Let's try Woodruff. I think we better have a go at this one, because if this unit gets sort of past this sort of area, he will have escaped and will cost us 2 victory points. So we better have a go. He is aimed fire 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, this is a depression. 4 doesn't give us any range modifier. He's evade in the open. Yep. That's a -1. He has a weapon skill of 4, so he needs a 3 or less. Let's see if we can do that. Yes, 2. Right, once again, let's check to see if he's actually wounded. Light wound. Good enough for now. And of course, we'll get a duck back. And we'll have to do a wound morale check with a troop quality of 4 now. Oh, passes. But unfortunately still loses 1 morale level and goes down to cautious. There we are. That's put paid to him moving off the map. That's Woodruff. We've now got Miller. I think you better try for Crowis here. Getting a bit near. 1, 2, 3 away. That's going to be a +1, of course, on his M1. The German's got evade in the open. Yeah, that's a -1. He's got a weapon skill of 4, so 3 or less. Oh, look at that. Another 0. He goes up to bold. And let's see if he gets a wound. Yes, light wound for Crowis. Won't make too much difference at the moment because it's next turn after this impulse. So they will be getting different orders. So he'll get his duck back and a light wound. And a wound morale check for him. He's gone down to a troop quality of 3. 3 or less. 5. He fails. And we'll go down 2 levels from normal to shaken. Just remind you quickly of that. That's good news. And then there's Goldstein. I moved him to the wrong hex, thinking that Pol was going to be moving in a 4 direction, but no, I miscalculated, and he moved closer. So I'm not going to change it. We'll keep it as is, but it's a little dodgy. 1 away is Goldstein with his BAR. That's a +2 though. That negates the run and gun, but there's another -2 because it's a heavy weapon. So he's at the moment weapon skill of 2. He's a run and gun in the open as well. Oh, knocking the camera there, sorry. He's a run and gun in the open. That's a -1. So he needs a 1 or less. Let's see if we get this right. Got 4, -2 twice, a 0, but a +2 for the range, and then another -1 for his order. So yeah, 1 or 0. Come on, Goldstein. Oh. Would you believe it? Good grief. Look. Killed in action. He's gone. Our first KIA. This must be beginner's luck. Look at that. Sorry, it's that way round, because it's German. Our first KIA. It was a case of Goldstein do or die. So there we are. That's Baker team. Let's see if the Germans get any payback. Well, after that devastating shot by Goldstein, it's now blue. And up here we've got Hahn, who's hiding. This duck back here. Well, Abbas turns into a hide. This soldier, Schultz, who has now been spotted, can actually try and fire, I think, at one of these. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, I think it's just missing, I think. Yeah, I think, to be fair, you can see all of those. Now, having a suppression, we don't take into account the order or terrain they're in, because he's not trying to hit them and wound them. He's trying to keep their heads down and give them the wobblies. So range, I don't think will matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Range and wounds are the only thing taken into account, and doesn't get any modifications. So I know you'd think it'd be the nearest, but treating it logically, one might be poking their head up a bit further than the other two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. It's Douglas. I've cut in here because when Schultz picked which one he was going to suppress, I must have had a brain burp and used that 6 as the result of his suppressive fire. So luckily I caught it. So we're coming to do it properly. He's going after Douglas. We said he was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 away. No range modifier for that distance. As I mentioned, we don't take into account terrain or orders that the target has. So he has a weapon skill of 4 or less to try and suppress Douglas. Oh dear, nope. Didn't do it anyway, so as you were, back to the video. And Schultz has finished. It's just this one which turns into a hide for Wolf. And last but not least, red team. Hiding. This one though, an aimed fire. I think we said he could see this one. I don't think that tree is in the way. No, he's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, run and gun in the open and in a hedge is the same, -1. He is low ammo, but he's got a weapon skill of 6. Doesn't get anything for the range. It's going to be a -1 off of that weapon skill, so it's going to be a 5 or less, but which one is he going to fire at? As I say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's Lozano in the middle there. 5 or less. Let's hope he gets another 9. Oh, 1. He hits Lozano. This is going to be terrible news for the Americans. A first wound. Let's see what he gets. Oh no, bad wound. For Lozano, a terrible end to this turn. He has to do a wound morale check. And going to be a -3 off of that, so a 1 or less. Six, no. That's 2 levels lost. He goes down to shaken. There we are. That sniper. Got to try and deal with him next turn. This one, again, still can't see anything. Lastly, this soldier, Krauss, is just hiding for his activation. There we are. That is everything. And that's the end of the turn. So let's get rid of the cubes. And as it's the end of the turn, we enter the end phase. So all the orders are removed. There we go. We'll remove the initiative counters, ready for next turn. Impulse 1, turn 3, and we'll just remove and discard those. And we're done, and we're ready for turn 3. But I think we'll leave it there. This video has been quite a long one, so apologies. But I hope you found it interesting and you enjoyed it. If you did and you haven't done so already, it would be great if you would consider subscribing, because it really does help the channel. Also very good to do if you could push the thumbs up, the like button of the video. That helps tremendously as well. And if you want to be informed of other content the channel uploads, make sure you push the bell. But push all notifications, otherwise YouTube might forget to tell you. Leave a comment. As I've said, this is me learning the game, warts and all, so there's mistakes, which hopefully I've caught most of. But if you see any that I've missed, then please let me know, because it will help me and also others that are interested in the game. But whatever type of comment you put, you know I love to read them. Thanks as always to my subscribers. Thank you so much. And just before I go, if you wish to support the channel a little bit further, you can. You can buy the channel a coffee, and there's a link in the description for that. Or you can push the super thanks button underneath the video. Either of those, if you wish to do that, just helps to keep the channel ticking along with bits and pieces. So thank you. Right then, we've got our first German KIA. We've got our first wounded soldier, but on the whole, don't think we've done too bad. We've got a couple that are routing next turn, and most of the others have had their morale damaged. So we'll see what happens. Turn 3 looks as though it's going to be another interesting one, and I hope you can join me for that. But until then, as always, you take care and goodbye.